Y/N, what's the Wi-Fi password again? As I pulled my laptop out of the back of my backpack, I called out to Taehyung, my new roommate. Taehyung, it's a Jungkookie, he yelled back, his laughter clanged throughout the apartment. Y/N, seriously? I rolled my eyes. This year was going to be extremely long. Taehyung was a college heartthrob, with a line of girls waiting outside his door every morning for a glimpse. And here I was, a nerdy girl who would rather read a book than attend a party. We could not be more different. I had scholarships and grades to maintain, and I didn't have time for distractions like him. The first week of college flew by as I focused on my studies, avoided Taehyung's constant fan club, and attended classes. In the hallways, I would catch them staring at me and whispering to each other about how brave I was to live with the guy they were all so love-struck with. They were unaware of the fact that we were completely unlike each other. All I did was pay my roommates half of the rent on time. One fateful evening, I entered the living room and discovered Taehyung clothes on the couch. I went towards the kitchen and made coffee for myself, but accidentally I lost balance and coffee split on his dress, and at that time Taehyung comes out from his room. Taehyung, little Y/N, what did you do? Taehyung, this is unbelievable. What should I wear to the party tonight, now? I turned to face him after glancing down at the shirt. Y/N, well, you could always try my clothes. Taehyung, very funny. With a sigh, he ran a hand through his messy hair. Taehyung, but seriously, can you help me? After taking a D PBR at TH, I put my book down. Y/N, I guess I could try to fix it. Taehyung, you're a lifesaver, with a grateful, handed me the shirt. But you ruined my favorite dress. I gave him a W at relook. Y/N, what exactly does whatever I need ent at IL? Taehyung, anything, his cute smile. You'll be my personal assistant, maid, tutor, whatever you want. The next few days. He asked me to prepare meals, do his laundry, and even assist him with his schoolwork. I discovered that I was learning more about him than I had ever wanted to. When he put in the effort, he was surprisingly intelligent, but his popularity frequently interfered with his academic pursuits. His crutches were his charm and good looks, which he made good use of. Taehyung ridged from the water one sunny afternoon as I was cleaning the poolside, his abs gleaming in the sunlight. He slicked back his hair and smiled at me. Taehyung, you know, I've been thinking about our deal, his eyes gleaming with mischief. Taehyung, what if I want to cash in on that favor now?
He took hold of my hand and engaged me fully. Clothed into the pool before I could object, I was. She aged 0 ked by the cold water, but as I sputteringly came to the surface, I couldn't help but laugh. His eyes were dead on mine, and he held me firmly. Then, out of the blue, he LNED into key dollar me. His LPS in. Ting and soft, I key dollar at him back, and as OBOD. S pre dollar ed in the water, the world around. USD med, I hadn't expected such an int knees. Moment of pa dollar in. But it ended just as quickly as it started. He withdrew, a sly smile on his LPS. Taehyung, I've wanted to do that for a while. Muttered hard P0 unding. I fixed my gaze on him. Why then, Taehyung, what was that, Taehyung? Just a little bonus for all your hard work. He winked, but don't worry, your 2 weeks of service hasn't started yet. For the rest of the day, all I could think about was that key dollar. What exactly did it mean? Was it just a sudden feeling of admire, or was there something more as the weekend approached? I found myself dreading and anticipating the start of my new job as Taehyung's maid, but I had a feeling these 2 weeks would be anything but normal. Monday morning, Taehyung gave me a to-do list that was longer than my arm. Taehyung, I need to stay on top of my studies because I have a big game this weekend. Tossing a stack of textbooks and notebooks on the kitchen counter, Taehyung, and I've got a photo shoot tomorrow, so the apartment needs to be spotless. I sighed as I glanced at the list. It covered everything from helping him with a Shakespeare paper to washing his laundry. However, I had committed to this, and I never. Be our okay promise. It was also oddly ting too. Consider that I would have him all to myself for 2 weeks. Our daily routine grew nearly comfortable as the days passed. While he SLPT in, I would get up early to start the chores, and before I left for class, we would have coffee. We would get together in the evenings to work on his homework, with papers and textbooks all over the place, and our heads bowed. He would make fun of me for liking classical music, and I would roll my eyes at his ops $$ iron with sports. But in the middle of all, an odd bond started to grow. After a particularly taxing math lesson one evening, I ended up in the kitchen, elbow the European dishwater, with his hair still DMP from the GH0 where Taehyung entered the room with a T0 well. WR at PP at around his W at AC, there was a sparkle in his eye as he GL at N at me. Taehyung, you know, you're pretty good at this homemade thing, teasing a smile. But how about we take a break? He pointed to the backyard, where a gentle glow was created by the pool's lighting, adding, in a low, Europe voice, Taehyung, I've got a surprise for you. I followed him outdoors out of curiosity. The cool night air sending SH -1D0 when my SP NE. We walked over to the pool, and I noticed that candles were all around it, dancing on the water's surface with their shine light. In the middle floated a bouquet of daisies, which are my favorite flower. Taehyung looked at me with a serious expression. Taehyung, I know it's not really a date, but I still wanted to show you my gratitude. You've put in a lot of effort, and I'm grateful. Heart pounding, I fixed my gaze on him. Why then, what is this? His eyes met mine. Taehyung, it's just a little thank you, but if you want, we can pretend it's more. With that, he LNED in to give me another key $. His BOD's WRMT each street adding in stark contrast to the chilly night air. Not this time did I back off. Rather, I encircled him with my APMS, S and sing. The T Euro N $INR, S, NG as RK, $$ became more, int Euro knees. I came to the real, the Italian that I was tired of. PR Euro T Euro ding as we doctor, sit apart, I the $. Read for this to be true. Why when, Taehyung, I think I'm starting to like you. With a smile, here Euro M0 vet a strand of hair from my face with his hand. Taehyung, widen, I've liked you from the moment you moved into this apartment. Let's now make this a worthwhile transaction. The 2 weeks officially started at that point. We would engross ourselves in a tangle of housework and homework during the day, and spend our nights into Euro knees embraces. I could no longer differentiate between duty and $, and I started to fall in love with the boy who had only ever been a bother. I had no idea, though, that Taehyung was hiding a secret of his own that would completely upend our world. And as the days passed, I couldn't help but wonder if he was genuinely fond of the Euro road girl who had unintentionally won his heart, or if this was all just a game to him. One evening, his hand PP Euro D into mine while we were sitting together in the living room watching a movie on TV that we weren't really watching. My palm felt his thumb making lazy circles, which made my SPNET angle. Taehyung, you know, wide and low, genuine voice. You're not just my roommate anymore. As I GL it and see it up at him, my heart read Why then? What do you mean? He inhaled the euro ply as he looked into mine. Taehyung, I think I might be falling for you. The convey dollar iron hung there, genuine and heavy. A smile tugged at the edges of my mouth. Why then, really? He gave a nod, his eyes unvit veering. Taehyung, really? Our covert G allet in CS and key $S by the pool. Became more D at ring after that. We used to spend allo NGN. DHTST0 together. RBOD S2 net on the couch as we talked about everything and nothing at all, though the apartment was SPO plus. We could still feel the T-euro and dollar iron in our relationship, but as the 2 weeks and drew nearer, so did the truth of our HMship on campus. Taehyung was a celebrity, and I was just the girl who had unintentionally agreed to be his maid. Could this actually be successful? We made the decision to celebrate with a small party on the last day of our agreement. His pals and my study group were mixed together in an awkward way in the room we had come to share. As the evening de euro penned, I found myself in the kitchen, overcome with the abrupt awareness that our arrangement was about to come to an end. I guess Taehyung sensed my change in attitude, because he quickly came over and Euro MBR at CD. Me from behind, in my ear. Taehyung, what's wrong? Whispered. Why then? What happens now? My question was HRD Lee. Audible above a whisper, when we go back to being just roommates, he turned me to face him, looking into my eyes. Taehyung, is that what you want? I led the Europly as my heart began to race. YN, no, but I don't know if this can be anything more. His BR Euro at THFLTWRM against my SK. NSH, L Euro at Nedin. Taehyung, let's not think about it tonight. Let's just enjoy the moment. And with that, the sound of background music from the living room faded and he key $$ at me again. We stood there, L0 SD in each other's apimas. The future as uncertain as the day we met, while the party continued around us. We HRD Lee spoke the following day, our last day, together as roommates with an unwritten agreement the unusually quiet apartment gave off the impression that the walls were holding their BRTH, waiting for us to move. I tried to ignore the butterflies in my stomach as I carried on with my regular activities. However, the silence grew de euro per as soon as I put $$ at Taehyung because our eyes would meet. We were alone at last, as the sun set and the last of his friends left. Taehyung, why then uttered a de euro p emotional tone in his voice. I don't want this to end. With my heart pounding, I turned to face him. Why then? What do you mean? He moved a step CL0 and placed his hands on mine. We should be more than just roommates. In my opinion, I want to be with you, as genuine and tangible as the feeling of his SKN. Against mine, the words hung in the atmosphere. I looked into his eyes for any hint of doubt or irony, but all I saw was genuineness. Why then? But what about your fans? I stumbled over my words. He gave my hands a squeeze. Taehyung, they are able to handle it. I've had enough of playing games. Really, I want to be with you. Those were the last doubts and fears I had. Feeling the weight of his opinions around me, I Euro at Ned into him. YN, okay. The weeks that followed were a blur of any pives and excitement. We enjoyed our short moments together whenever we could, keeping our relationship under wraps. But as the semester went on, it got HRD and HRD to keep our emotions under wraps. One evening, Taehyung's hand T0 had mine as we LNED over a physics textbook in the library. There was just too much electricity between us. to ignore. Without saying a word, we packed up our belongings and returned to the apartment. After $1 our heads at the same time and locking eyes, we left the lights off and let our faces be shadowed by the street lamp's glow with a the euro dollar p euro rate and hungry key dollar. He drew me into his. Upon we tumbled into his room, tumbling CL0 thus all over the place until we were in KD and T had angled on the bed. It was a night of $dollar iron and discovery of a euro atning every kupive and line of each other's. B0 dus, with our hearts po unding T0 together, we whispered sweet nothings into the D at pi ness, and I realized that this wasn't just a transient crush. As we yell at why there, forgetting about the outside world, there was truth to this, but a new challenge arrived. With the dawn, under the spotlight of campus, gossip and the scrutiny of his admirers, how would we manage this relationship after 2 weeks of BL? Dollar fool secrecy, the real test was about to start. Taehyung turned to face me as we yell at why there, our MBS still tangled. Taehyung, why I want the world to know you're mine. With AF0 reaseful swallow, my heart P0 undid. YN, are you sure? With a determined expression, he gave a nod. Taehyung, more than anything, and with that, we decided to open up shop. In Eurovis sus knees filled the days before the announcement, our slight glances and LED smiles becoming more daring by the hour. The time had finally arrived for us to stand in the quad together, me each holding his hand while he declared to the assembled crowd. Taehyung, I've found the one who makes me feel like I can conquer the world, his L. PSM0 ved to a gentle smile as he turned to face me. Meet my girlfriend, YN. There were looks of disbelief mixed with CH0CK and excitement, but as his supporters began to applaud a little bit, I thought perhaps we could peel this off. Our relationship was not without its challenges. There were rumors, jealousy, and whispers, and stares. However, Taehyung stayed strong. Throughout it all, his love for me a lighthouse. In the darkness, and as we overcame every obstacle together, I realized that our relationship found in the crucible of our unusual beginnings was strengthening. Like any couple, we had our fair share of arguments and miscommunications. However, each time we managed to reconnect. The love and connection between us grew stronger, and as the semester came to an end, we discovered that we were both looking for the future. It was a promising and potential future, but it was also full of obstacles we hadn't even thought of. The nerd girl who had won his heart was the college age OTTI, and the paparazzi were waiting for their chance to get a picture of the two of them. His celebrity was becoming more and more of a burden, and our private moments were no longer ours alone. But amidst the chaos, we had our haven in the quiet moments between classes, in the quiet apartment when everyone else had gone out. Seated on the couch with our legs intertwined, we would talk about our fears and dreams. I realized then that this was more than just a short-lived college romance. This had the potential to endure. A fresh round of PR euro dollar yours arrived on the day of finals, whereas I was focused on retaining my scholarship. Taehyung was aiming for an honors degree. Together, we studied with his kind support, inspiring me to pursue goals I had never considered. As soon as the results were in, we cheered ourselves into success, reverberating throughout the hallways. We made the decision to advance our relationship. On the eve of our victory, together we had faced the world and emerged victorious. It was Time to prove to the world that we were more than just a phase, weren't just a bet or a juicy piece of gossip for college students. We were enamored. Thus, with the sound of the waves providing a calming background for our convey dollar ions, we packed our bags and made our way to a quaint Airbnb near the beach. Taehyung knelt down with a ring box in hand as we stood beneath the stars and felt the sand between our toes. Taehyung, why then uttered the emotion in his voice quivering, "Will you be my forever?" I nodded, as zero being uncontrollably and unable to speak. This was far more than I could have imagined from a boy who had previously only served as a distraction. But I knew I had come home to my home in his arms as soon as he put the ring on my FNGR. We talked about our dreams, our love, and our future for the remainder of the evening. It was an absolutely wonderful night that seemed to go on forever. But the sun rose too soon, casting pink and gold hues across the sky, and then reality set in as we drove back to campus. We had to face the outside world, which might not always be sympathetic to us, but it was enough that we had each other. We were confident that we could overcome any obstacle because of the wind in our hair and the ocean's scent still on our SK. And we PPD hands Lee as we pulled into the apartment building, any pie vest and excitement coursing through our veins. We were going to begin a new chapter in our lives, one that would be characterized by growth, love, and the odd challenge. However, we were prepared. As the sun rose behind us, promising a better day, we got out of the car together, and I knew that no matter what lay ahead, we would face it together. As we entered the apartment hand in hand,